Hi everyone, glad you guys are tuning in today. Our message this past weekend at Calvary Church was about how Jesus grew in a multitude of ways as he was growing up, and we talked about how we can be doing those things while we're in quarantine. Now we can be doing those things all the time, not just right now, but in this specific season when we have a unique amount of time where we're maybe more at home more often, or we are driving less, or we're focusing on doing things that are not normal, we can take the time that we have and invest it into ourselves in a different set of ways. So today I want to start by going through each of those four things, talking about how we as a church, or you as a Christian if you're not part of the Calvary community, can grow in this area. Again, there are four of them. Grow in this area and essentially better yourselves when this quarantine is over. So when you finish it, you don't finish it and think, man, that was a waste of however many weeks. You think, yeah, that wasn't the best, but I made the best of it. So the first one we're going to talk about is Jesus grew mentally. So this is the mind. This is one of the ways that we really focus on as a church in a lot of ways. When we think about learning, most people think about learning in their brain. So, like I said, moderate solitude and quarantine aren't the most enjoyable things, but this is a great time to invest in yourself, and maybe investing in yourself in a way that you normally don't. I know a lot of people don't love to read, or they say they don't have time to read or take a class or do any of those things. That's what I want to talk about here for the next couple of minutes. How can you invest in yourself mentally to make these next couple of weeks and your life afterward a whole lot better? So the first thing I want to talk about is not even something to invest in, but a way to help yourself invest. And that's to make a daily schedule. I don't know if you're a scheduling person. I know some people already are. They are all about, I have my schedule every day. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is when I do it. I'm that kind of a person. I have a mental schedule. I have a routine. If I can start the first thing in my routine right, the rest of my day will go well. Unfortunately, with the quarantine, I'm at home. I'm stuck here. I don't do a whole lot. So I don't have that beginning of my routine. There is no go to work part of my routine anymore. It's been shifted. So I want to encourage you guys to make a daily schedule. This doesn't need to be elaborate. It doesn't need to be detailed. It can be. It doesn't have to be. But this might be a great way for you to set some daily goals, to set some things that you want to invest yourself in. Keep yourself accountable for every hour of your day, so that you're not sitting on the couch watching Netflix and then you look at your watch and realize, oh my gosh, I've been sitting here for 6 hours. I know it's kind of funny, but that happens. That's the reality. The automatic play function, if you click it, I think twice, you're 6 hours in. The amount of episodes you watch can be incredible. You watch 2 movies, half your day is gone. So having a schedule will keep you accountable for your day and the things that you want to do in your day. And it can help you divide up work, rest, and having fun. Too often we want to just rest and have fun, or if you're like me, I just want to work, pass the time as best I can. But having divided times equally or in the best way for you is a great way to spend this time. So real quick, I want to take a second to share what my planner looks like. It is rather thick. That's okay. I'm all about it. I spent some time a couple of months ago trying to find the best planner for me. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of planners. Kaylee doesn't like this planner. She has her own planner, and that's great. So if you have a planner that you love, no negative things towards you. Enjoy your planner. But if you don't, you can buy this planner. I think it's only online. It's called the Panda Planner. Has a little panda on the front of it, if you can see. And I don't know why they call it the Panda Planner, to be honest. No idea. But it divides up things into months, weeks, and days. So the months and the weeks are kind of tough, but the daily schedules are great. They include daily affirmations, things you're grateful for, priorities, daily schedule, daily affirmations, a focus, your exercise time, and it's great. I love it. It helps me start my day. I write everything out, and then as my day goes, I don't think, what am I going to do next? I look back at my planner and say, oh, this is what I've already decided to do, and I'm going to go do it. So that's why I would recommend a planner. I would recommend really this planner if you want to invest and spend some money. It'll be good for a couple of months, and this is the second one. I went through an entire one already, and I loved it so much I bought another. But if you don't want to, even just a pad of paper and a to-do list. I'm going to do this by this time. I'm going to do this by this time. Having that will keep you accountable for what you are doing during your day. So a few ideas. I think that's really what these videos are all about, because we're going to go through the other 3 of these as well. These are just ways to help you start thinking a little bit. This isn't the end all be all. I'm not going to say everything that you could do during quarantine. That would be ridiculous. But maybe what I'm saying can help get that ball rolling in your mind so that you can come up with the best idea and think, this is how I want to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and relationally. So things to help you grow mentally is do something you've put off for a long time. Maybe you've had an at-home project that you were going to invest in and do it, and you just never had the time. Maybe now's the time. You can refinish the bathroom or reorganize the furniture in the living room. I don't know what you were going to do in your house, but take whatever project it is. It could be with work, could be at home, could be personally. Invest your time in it now. Why not? You have plenty of it, so invest your time in something that you've been putting off for a long time. Maybe invest in a discipline. I know this one's a little bit more difficult, but I'm trying to adjust the way I eat. I want to eat less sweets, more vegetables. It's difficult, but without all the other ruckus of life happening, I'm here, I'm at home, I can kind of hone in and invest a little bit more in this discipline because I don't have all these other things screaming at me. I'm really focusing on some work, focusing on some things of being at home, but then I can really focus on eating right. And if I mess up, that's okay. I would encourage you to commit to the journey of success, not just success itself. So if you fail day 2, you're like, hey, I've got this quarantine discipline, I'm going to do this, and day 2 you fail, that's okay. That's part of the journey. Commit to success, don't just commit, or commit to the journey, don't just commit to success. And this next one, this is my favorite. This is what I would do. Honestly, if we weren't in quarantine, I'd do this all the time anyway. Read and learn. Read and learn. I hear one of the biggest excuses about not reading is it's boring and I don't have the time. Because if it's boring, why do you want to invest the time in it? Well, you have plenty of time now, so I would encourage you to take some time, read and learn. Learn about something you don't know about. Maybe read a history book, read some about science, read some about some technology, or maybe you could take some time and read and invest in your personal faith. So I have a couple of ideas of authors that I would recommend, maybe some of their books. There are so many great authors, so many great books. Maybe don't just buy the first one that pops up on Amazon, but maybe text someone, hey, what's one of the best books you've read recently? Buy it, get it delivered to your house, and read it. Now I do want to say you can still purchase things via Amazon. I think that's the best way to do it. Or you could purchase it via Amazon Kindle. So I have a Kindle, it's the little Paperwhite that I read books on. It's great, I love it. Not everyone has one, but that's okay. You can still get the Kindle app on your phone, on your tablet. I don't believe it works on your computer, but you still might be able to read it on your computer. I'm not certain about that one, sorry. But you can still use that Kindle app and buy the Kindle books and use them if you don't have the Kindle product. Okay, so I think that's an important thing because Kindle books are often much, much cheaper. The newest ones, when they just come out, they're the same price, but if a book has been out 6 months to a year or longer, it's typically 50% off. So if you go to Barnes & Noble and buy a book for $15, you could buy the Kindle edition probably for around $6 to $7, which is a lot nicer when you're just trying to read more and more books. I would also recommend Audible. So Audible, like sound, Audible. They're connected with Amazon. I don't know if they're owned by them or not, but they are audiobooks. I know some people fall asleep when they read. Not on purpose, it just puts them to sleep. Listening to books can be a good way to read in a different way, if that makes sense. So you can listen to the books instead of just read them. Also, when you listen to a book, maybe you could do something else with it. So I often listen to a book or podcasts. That's another great thing. While I exercise or I do work around the house, it's just in my ears and I'm listening to it while I'm doing something I don't really need to think about. You have a lot of laundry and dishes to do? Great. Turn on a book. You can listen and read at the same time and invest in yourself while you're moving and kind of making that kinetic energy. So some authors that I would recommend, and I asked some other people, so I think they would agree with me. Skye Jethani, and I'll hopefully, in editing, I'll put the names at the bottom of the screen. Skye Jethani, he is my favorite author. He's the one I've read the most books by. 2 of his best books are With, W-I-T-H, and Futureville. So if you're interested in someone who, he's very, very intelligent, but he makes it very, very practical at the same time. Skye Jethani, With, I read that at the beginning of college. And I know I think our worship team is reading it now as well. Kaylee loves that book. Kindly, if Kaylee recommends a book, it's good. If she recommends it, it's good. If I recommend a book, it's like, okay, it's probably something. But if she recommends it, it's good, I promise. So, With by Skye Jethani. anything by Andy Stanley. He's our senior pastor, Billy's favorite. Andy Stanley, he's written many, many, many books on many topics. So maybe Google Andy Stanley in a topic and see if he's written a book on it. Erwin McManus, he's right there. Sky Jatani for me. Erwin McManus, he's pastor of Mosaic Church out in Los Angeles. His books, The Way of the Warrior, is his most recent. This is a very, very good book about discipline and growth. But also his book, The Last Arrow. Probably one of my favorite books of all time. Top 5 definitively. He wrote the book before he was diagnosed with cancer. And then he was entering the final editing process right after he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And the book is about living your best life. And he just gives this incredible and unique perspective on investing who you are and the time you have right now while not forsaking the future. So The Last Arrow by Erwin McManus, I would recommend that. Francis Chan, Crazy Love, Christian classic. That book was going around a lot when I was in college, so Crazy Love by Francis Chan is good. David Platt, he is part of the International Mission Board, part of the SBC that we are a part of. He wrote Radical and Multiply, some older books because he's now working a lot with IMB, but still great, great books. Undaunted by Christine Caine, that came recommended. It's Not Supposed to Be This Way by Lisa TerKeurst. I believe Lisa TerKeurst just did our women's Bible study that we went through. So she is a great author that you could invest in as well. And then the works of C.S. Lewis. So maybe you want to read the Chronicles of Narnia. That's great. But he also wrote a lot of other books about the Christian faith directly, including The Weight of Glory, Mere Christianity, The Great Divorce, and many, many others. So maybe looking up a C.S. Lewis book as well. I had mentioned it just before, but listening to a podcast is another great way to invest your time and grow mentally. To think about something that's outside of your own mental sphere. So I listen to something called The Holy Post. It is by Sky Jatani and Phil Vischer, the creator of VeggieTales. And Christian Taylor is also honored as well. They talk about a lot of different topics. It's often fun and serious all at the same time. I would recommend that. Also the Craig Groeschel Leadership Podcast. Those are 20-minute bites that are great for you just to listen and maybe grow as a leader. No matter where you are, I think leadership is an intentional thing that you can grow in, whether you're top of your company, middle manager, entry level, and all in between. Craig Groeschel Leadership Podcast, along with many, many churches have their Sunday gathering messages on there, so you can listen to a message by another pastor and grow in another way. So I would just encourage you, invest somewhere. Maybe you're not reading about Christianity, you're reading about something else, but invest yourself into something so that you can grow and finish this time stronger mentally than you were when it began. Don't sit. That's my encouragement. Don't just sit. Don't just watch the TV every hour of every day. Invest yourself into something, and then when the work is done, when you have finished investing for the day, then go watch some TV. Have some good time. But I encourage you, grow mentally in this season, and I promise you won't regret it later. Have a good one.